Looking at China's economic data in the previous 3 quarters, we can see the economic trend in the first year of the 14th five-year plan. According to the data of the National Bureau of Statistics on the 18th, according to the preliminary calculation, the GDP in the first 3 quarters was 82,313.1 billion yuan. Calculated at comparable prices, it increased by 9.8% year-on-year and 5.2% in 2 years, including 4.9% year-on-year in 3 quarters and 4.9% in 2 years. Industrial production continued to grow and the service industry recovered steadily. In the first 3 quarters, the added value of industries above designated size increased by 11.8% year-on-year and 6.4% on average in the 2 years. The added value of information transmission, software and information technology services, transportation, warehousing and postal services increased by 19.3% and 5.3% respectively year-on-year, with an average increase of 7.6% and 6.2% respectively in the 2 years. The total retail sales of social consumer goods increased by 6.4% year-on-year and 3.9% on average in the 2 years. Investment in fixed assets increased by 7.3% year-on-year, with an average growth of 3.8% in 2 years. The total import and export volume of goods increased by 22.7% year-on-year. The employment situation was basically stable and consumer prices rose moderately. In the first 3 quarters, 10.45 million people were newly employed in cities and towns across the country, achieving 95% of the annual target. In September, the unemployment rate in the National Urban Survey was 4.9%, a decrease of 0.2% over the previous month. The National Consumer Price, CPI, rose by 0.6% year-on-year, an increase of 0.1 percentage point over the first half of the year. The income of residents basically kept pace with economic growth, and the per capita income ratio of urban and rural residents narrowed. The per capita disposable income of residents in China increased by 10.4% in nominal terms, 7.1% in average in 2 years, 9.7% in real terms and 5.1% in average in 2 years after deducting price factors, which basically kept pace with economic growth. The ratio of per capita income of urban and rural residents, 2.62, decreased by 0.05 over the same period last year. Since the growth rate in the first 3 quarters of this year has reached 9.8%, the annual growth target of 6% is still expected to be easily achieved. With the gradual implementation of long-term reform measures, the transparency and predictability of policies are expected to continue to improve. It will lay a solid foundation for stabilizing market confidence and boosting long-term growth potential.
This is China. Welcome to comment, follow and like.